Today's Lunch and Learn is brought to us by a special chief here that we brought in, all the way from, I guess he's working outside of Goodfellow, a little town outside of Goodfellow Air Force Base. But anyway, he entered the Air Force back in 1969. I think there's some people in here that might not even have been around at that time. But I see hands going up. Well, anyway, he was in his Air Force career, he's been around the world at least once, maybe twice, but at least once. He was a jet engine mechanic. He's been a PME instructor, a first sergeant, of course, senior enlisted advisor, commandant. That's pretty good. He's been in towns like Ohio, Kansas, or actually states, New Mexico, been there a couple of times, and of course Texas, a couple of times there too. When he showed me this list, I thought, oh man, he hasn't been to overseas. Well, then he goes, oh, here's the overseas list. But anyway, he's been to the Philippines, Indonesia, Korea, just to name a few. He's also a junior ROTC instructor for the last 11 years. He's got 5 kids, believe it or not, and he's got 6 grandkids. So that's an achievement also. Anyway, one of his most favorite quotes is, "Life ain't fair, win anyway." Well, I forgot one thing to do. I forgot to welcome General Rooney, his wife, Colonel Sims, all the commanders out there. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn, and I would like you to put your hands together for a special welcome for Chief Savoie. He's retired, of course, now. But thank you.
All right, can y'all hear me? Okay. All right. You know, when I made chief, I tried to convince my wife to begin answering the phone in a different way. Chief Savoie's resident, the chief's wife speaking, and she refused to do that. And so, you know, I have always been the chief to everybody but to her, and now my 3-year-old granddaughter. And as I was leaving the quarters just across the street just a while ago, my granddaughter was saying, "Poppy, Poppy, 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 Poppy." You know how kids do. And she does this often, but today she did it on the staircase. "Poppy, Poppy, Poppy." What? She turned around, pulled her britches down, and mooned me. You know. So. And I get no respect. You know, Rodney Dangerfield type of thing. But I tell you, I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited about being at Sherford Air Force Base. I'm excited about the new things that are coming to you. I was talking to the General just a few minutes ago about when I came to the Air Force, the 2 most popular places on the base was the Rod and Gun Club and the NCO Club. And it wasn't to have meetings, it wasn't to shoot rifles, it was to drink lots of beer. And that's what we were doing in 1969. And if you weren't doing that, you weren't in the Air Force, basically. And now the 2 most popular places on the base is the education office and the gymnasium. So and I'm with the General. When I hear people talk about this ain't the same Air Force as it used to be, and I say thank God. Thank God. This is a better Air Force than I have ever seen. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the new fitness program. I am really excited about that because I was at the Chiefs Conference at Maxwell when they started talking about the bicycle. And I almost threw up. And Chief Bubba Sherwood was sitting beside me, and we were talking about what was going on, and Bubba said, "You know, I was in Vietnam in '68, C-47 I was flying and got shot down. Shrapnel punctured my lung. We went right down in the midst of the VC, and there weren't any bicycles available." He said I had to run for 2 days with a punctured lung, and I was thanking God that I was able to do that. So we're learning that again, aren't we? We're learning that again, and I think that's just great stuff. I just envy you at this point that we're going to go back to running. We're going to be a running Air Force again. Yeah, somebody say amen. Amen. Yeah, that's right. You know, now if you didn't say amen, Find an exit, baby. Go roll donuts for Dunkin' or something, you know. Now, the buzzword for the past 20 years that I know in our country, in our society, has been dysfunction.
You'll have to excuse me from winning, Chief. I'm from a dysfunctional background. How many of us ain't from a dysfunctional background? You can keep your hand down now, because all of us got weird relatives. All of us have had unjust things happen to us, and you get to the point where you got to say, get over it. You know, you ever yell at the TV? That's my favorite thing to do. I started back a long time ago when Dan Rather was interviewing an airman first class at Castle Air Force Base. And at the time, there was a lot of drug use in the foreign military services. And he asked this young man, you know, you're a crew chief on an aircraft, on an F-4 aircraft, and why is it that, you know, you say you don't mess with drugs, and is that because they're not available to you? He said, no, they're available to me. He said, well, why is it that you don't mess with drugs? And he said, you see the airplane? You see that name on the airplane? That's my name. That's my airplane. And people trust me when they get in that airplane, and if I don't do my job right, people die. That's why I don't do drugs. And if you'll excuse me, I've got to launch an airplane, and I'm hollering, yeah, baby! Yeah! This kid's, he's standing out there in a t-shirt kid, you know, he's probably old as I am now. But that's what we're about. We are free to do things in this country like nobody else can do it. Nowhere in the world are you going to find, about 20 years ago, find something like this. 20 years ago, the most popular Christmas gift at that time was a pet rock. Now look at this. People went down. See, some guy walked out in the field, picked up some rocks and put them in a little basket with some straw, put a little bow on it, and gave him an adoption certificate. Said, here's your pet rock for $15. This guy's a millionaire. Nowhere but in America can you get rich by picking up rocks and selling it. Rocks out of people's yards that already own the rock, by the way, and selling them, and people walk around and say, I just got my pet rock. His name's Willie. You know, I adopted him today. I remember that. That's the stupidest thing I've seen in my life. We in this country have the freedom to be just as stupid as we want to be. Don't we? Huh? We do. And people really take, I know a lot of people take advantage of that, haven't you? Lots of people take advantage of that freedom to be stupid. And I talk to my high school people all the time about that. Don't take advantage of that one opportunity. Steer clear of that one opportunity. But I hear a lot of things, and I hear a lot of stupid things. And I heard a lady on the talk show one time, here recently, that said, not only am I an alcoholic, I'm a codependent adult child with a chemical addiction. I have a inherited weight problem. I have a dreadful fear of competition, and I have exercise-induced asthma. Well, that last one means she's allergic to work, bless her heart. You know, there's lots of people in this country allergic to work. Slap allergic to it. They can't get near it. They break out if they go to work or around people at work. And I scream, I'll be screaming at that talk show host, old Ricky Lake, you know. Where do they get these people? Jerry Springer and these folks. You know, we have gotten to the place in our society that we do and say stupid things. But I want to remind us all of the stock we come from. General Douglas MacArthur put it this way when he was talking to yours and mine. Yours is the profession of arms, the will to win, the sure knowledge that in a war there is no substitute for victory, that if you lose, your nation will be destroyed. That the very obsession of your public service must be duty, honor, country. You know, I said we have a lot of people taking advantage of the freedom to be stupid in this country, but we got a lot of people taking advantage of the freedom that we have to excel and be somebody in this country. And you are those people in the United States Air Force. And I'm so dadgum proud of you, I can't hardly stand it. I can't understand it. I remember as a young man standing on the flight line, and if this ain't getting to you, you in the wrong place. but I believe it's getting to you. And you know, every once in a while, civilians see you, and they see what you're doing, and they see you fired up about it. They're curious about it. They ask me questions. Why are they so fired up about that? But I remember as a young man standing on a flight line, grease in my fingernails, JP fuel in my arm, JP4 in my armpits, hydraulic fluid on my pants, standing out there with the headsets on, watching that F4 take off and that blue and yellow flame coming out of the tailpipes. And I'm saying, yeah, baby, I'll put the fire in them suckers. Me, you pilots may go kick butt, but you're wearing my boots. That's what we're about. I tell you, I'm so glad. And you know what? We're getting better and better and better at that. And I'm excited about that. But this foolishness, this stupidity sometimes creeps into your Air Force. Right before I retired, I was a commandant in the NCO Academy down at Goodfellow. And my staff and I, we played the students every class in volleyball. And I just told my staff, I said, I don't expect anything of you when we go out there and play volleyball. We're going to have fun, but the only thing I expect is that you better win. You're going to win. I will not tolerate this faculty letting the students beat them. It ain't going to happen. And when we win, we're going to be obnoxious. We're going to dance in their face, and we're going to shame them because a bunch of older men have just beat them. You know, and so we did that, and we never lost a volleyball game in the 3 years I was a commandant there. We never lost. We always beat them. Now, we practiced. I had one kid tell me, that ain't fair, Chief. You guys practice. That's just like hearing somebody say, well, that's not fair. You made chief because you studied. You know, that stupidity creeps into our Air Force sometimes. You know, we had just played a class in volleyball. We had just beaten them badly. And one student, a 32-year-old tech sergeant, wrote a critique. He said, Chief, I don't think it's fair that you beat every class in volleyball. What about our self-esteem? You know, if I hear one more person talk about self-esteem, I'm going to strangle him. And I thought, well, this guy has sat through my lectures. He's pulling my chain, see? And so I called him in, and I said, I read your critique. Funny. You got me, buddy. That's funny. He wasn't laughing. He said, I didn't mean for it to be a joke, Chief. I said, you serious about this, huh? He said, yeah. I said, you think that I'm responsible for your self-esteem? Yeah, you're the chief. I said, let me tell you something. I wanted to take his powdered butt out of my office, but I wanted to teach him something first. Right? I said, I am not responsible for your self-esteem. You don't get self-esteem from people's sympathy. You get self-esteem from your personal performance. He wasn't listening. I said, you want some self-esteem? Beat me. You have to beat me to get some self-esteem. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Who did you play in volleyball today? You, Chief. Who won today? You did, Chief. I'm feeling pretty good about my self-esteem. Why? Because I beat you. It's about winning, Hoss. He wasn't listening. You ever talk to anybody that can't wait for you to shut up so they can say something? They ain't listening to you, Colonel. You ever talk to anybody like that? Sometimes I get no discussions with my wife. You know, I'll be lecturing, she ain't listening to what she's saying. Okay, I'm waiting for you to stop, and then I'm going to tell you what for. Well, that's what this guy was doing. He wasn't listening. He said, now, Chief, you know, I respect you, and these guys love you, but, you know, I think I could help you. Now he's going to help me. He's going to counsel me now. You know? Any chiefs in here? Anybody ever counsel you? Oh, yeah. Here we go. He's going to counsel me now. Okay, so I shut up. He said, Chief, not only did I notice that you beat us, but I noticed something else. And I hate to think, Chief, that you were doing this intentionally. I can't imagine that you would intentionally do what you did. I'm gonna assume, because I respect you, this was just coincidental. Chief, every time you served, it looked to me like you were intentionally serving to our weakest player. I said, you noticed that, didn't you? Let me tell you something. It was intentional. You know why I did that? I can't imagine. Because I wanted to beat you. Life is going to take advantage of your weaknesses on a daily basis, and we're in this NCO Academy to show you that. And if you've got a weakness, you better get over it. And if your team has a weakness, you better start acting like a team and fix it. But you're going to stand over there with your finger in your nose, knowing what I'm fixing to do. I'm fixing to serve to your weakest player, and you stand there and say, I think it's going to serve to our weakest player. Yeah, it is. And you let me beat you. And you try to tell me it's my fault. I'm going to tell you it's your fault when you allow that sort of thing to go on and you step over your obstacles every day and you don't do something about it. We're in this school to teach you something, and oh, by the way, we're not playing out there. Playing volleyball. I'm there to kick your butt. I'm there to win. I'm there to teach something. Now, the general told me there'd be some commanders here today. There's another weird thing going on in our public schools. It's being taught. We teachers go to these conferences and we're being told, give the children purpose and they will be committed. Sounds great, doesn't it? Give the children purpose and they will be committed. Well, what does that mean? Well, make the child feel special in the classroom and he will be committed. It don't work. When you make the child feel special in the classroom and he ain't doing nothing, guess what he's going to do? Nothing. Because he's already special, you see. He can be special and do nothing. You know, that's a pretty good deal when I was a kid. You know, in Texas right now, the lowest grade I can give a student on a report card is 50. He don't even have to show up to class and I have to give him a 50. I had me some 50s when I went to high school. I earned every dadgum point of it. I mean, I'd go home with my report card and Dad'd say 50. You halfway there, Bubba. I earned it. We've got to quit lying to our kids. We got to quit giving the kids things. I found out early in the United States Air Force that it ain't about purpose, then commitment. It's about commitment, then purpose. Oh, y'all, come on now. Y'all not hearing me. When I graduated at Jet Engine Tech School. Now, I barely graduated high school. I had me a 69.59, you know, as an average in English, and they were arguing about whether it was a 5.9 or a 4.9. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And they didn't tell me all day, graduation day, if it was a 5.9 or a 4.9. You know, I just found out later that afternoon when Dad come in and said, you're going to graduate, boy, but I don't know how in the hell you did it. I thought we was going to have to burn the school down to get you out of here. But I went to the Air Force. I didn't tell the Air Force I had been stupid one time. They didn't ask me, so I didn't tell them. They didn't know any better than just send me to school with everybody else. And they expected me to do well. Matter of fact, there was Tech Sergeant Gunn that stood over me and said, boy, you're going to get this and you're going to get it right or something significant is going to happen to you. And when I came in the Air Force, some of them guys carried these little leather sticks. Now, they never hit us with them, but I was convinced he would hit me with it. And so I did very well. I graduated Jet Engine Tech School, and I felt like I'd been picked to play linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, you know, because finally somebody recognized his talent, and they sent me to jet school. And I was excited about that. I'd seen Strategic Air Command, you know, with Jimmy Stewart, and I had seen, you know, Buck Rogers with the rockets and the fire spitting out of the back, and I wanted me some of that. And we got to Lockbourne Air Force Base, Ohio. Me and old Ray Ingham got there, and we saw the tails of the C-130s and the KC-135s out there. I could smell the jet fuel. I could hear the whine of the jets, and I'd say, Ray, we here, baby. We've arrived. These folks are needing us, and I was excited about that. And we went down to see. We even ironed our hats We ironed that one stripe on that old fatigue uniform with the blue and white stripes, you know, and blue and white name tags. We ironed that stripe until that skeeter wing began to get right there. And we marched off to CBPO. Now, I know we don't call it CBPO anymore, but we don't call it mental health clinic, mental health clinic. Watch out for your political correctness now, but mental health clinic was probably right for some of them. But anyway, we marched off, you know, we got up early in the morning and looked out the window, I could see the jets. We marched off to school. We just come out of tech school now. Every NCO and I officers that I had met up until that point had exemplified the standard. I mean, they were shocked. Called me a maggot and a worm all the time, but they was shocked, you see. And so we went off to CBPO. You know how you do, right? We're going to CBPO, baby. We salute, everything had a ribbon on it, see. We salute, we on top of it. And we go to CBPO, we checked in, and I said, where's the jet shop? He said, go down Flight Line Road, it's that big Quonset lot on the left. We went down there, I'm excited. I'm excited. Go into the jet shop and the T-56s and the J-57s are all over the jet floor and people are working on them and I'm saying, yeah, baby, this is it. And I heard one of them light up at the test cell. Woo! And I said, this is it. And my boss, Tech Sergeant Joe Crap, the rag picker. He's got a cup of coffee sitting on it. You know what I'm talking about, General. And he's got a cigarette in this hand, a cup of coffee in this hand. He got nicotine stains on his fingers. And he's a hack. You know. And he said, all right, since you're the biggest in the bunch here coming in, use a latrine plate. What an insult. I was trained a jet engine mechanic. You in charge of the latrine. Man, I was not happy about that. But see, I figured out something. My dad had often told me, you want a good job, do the one you got well. Huh? Yeah. And that rang in my head. I didn't like cleaning up after 70 jet engine mechanics. You ain't lived until you've been in a jet shop full of 70 jet mechanics. Young men, an open space in the bathroom is a place to write. And I cleaned and I painted and the urinals had a chrome on the top, looked like a bumper on a 55 Cadillac. You could see yourself in that porcelain. Had them toilet seats, had the tension, you know. And I cleaned, buddy. I cleaned that floor, I repainted everything. And every day I'd go to the chow hall. I know we don't call it chow hall anymore, do we? Got any food service people in here? I'm sorry. Chow hall. Go to the chow hall, come back, and the first thing I do, you know what I'm talking about. Back then, chow hall food for breakfast was great for a lot of things. One of them was what us old folks really appreciate. Anyway. Got in there, I'm sitting on my throne, and I'm observing my area, my kingdom. I mean, the chrome is just right, the porcelain is clean, and somebody had written something on the wall down next to the floor. And it immediately was making me mad. Somebody writing on the wall in here. I'll find out who, I'll fix them. This is my job, man. And I sat way over on that toilet. You are now sitting at a 45-degree angle. I was livid. I came charging out there, complaining to Joe Crap, the rag picker, and he's going. But you know what? Just a few weeks later, I'm standing at the roll call, and Senior Master Sergeant Newton, the branch chief, came down the roll call. Now, we had seen shadows of the branch chief. We had got memos from the branch chief. And we had, every once in a while, we had seen the stripes come through there. That's all I could see was the stripes, you see. And he came to the roll call and he said, Airman Savoie. My knees went weak. He's calling my name front and center. And I did my thing. You know, he stepped right. Come back up there. He said, Airman Savoie, you have done such a wonderful job on the latrine. You are our newest member of the jet engine test facility. All right. I figured out right then something hit me. You get committed to what you're told to do, the Air Force is going to give you some purpose. Now, commanders, you're going to have some people coming out of these public high schools that's looking for you to give them purpose right off the bat. They're going to look for you to give them something neat and special to do. I'm going to tell you right now, people need to earn it to appreciate it. They need to show you something to appreciate it. Let's stop giving people stuff. Let's start, you know what? For me to work jet engine test cell, I get chilled right now thinking about it. Jet engine test cell. Not only were they going to let me work on the jet engine, not only were they going to let me change components, they were going to let me do everything but fly that sucker. I mean, this test cell to me was an airplane with no wings. I loved it. I loved being out there at night, because if you light that thing off at mill power, there's a blue flame comes out that thing. And it shakes the ground. And I did it. And when they put that engine on that aircraft after, I look at it. It's right. Yeah, my name is on it. And my daddy's name is on it. And my granddaddy's name is on it. Oh, I tell you, don't give people something special that don't appreciate it. Oh, I got to talk to you commanders this way. Young people must be taught what to do with losing. Suicide rate among American teenagers has quadrupled since 1968. The rate has quadrupled. You know why? Because they don't know what to do with losing. Everybody stumbles. Everybody loses. When I was a kid, I was taught what to do with it. Had a coach named Billy Jack Worksham, had no neck. Had no neck, all shoulders. Looked like a big rising or something on his shoulder. You know. He had one glass eye. You know. I never could fix, looked like a lizard on National Geographic. I could figure which one was the glass eye. But anyway, Billy Jack, he expected us to win. He expected us to work. He expected us to give it our best shot. He said, if you ever lose a football game, something genetically is wrong with you. Never lose. We went and played Eunice, New Mexico, and lost the game. I wept. Great heaving sobs. I wept. It was devastating to me. People said it must have been traumatic. You bet. Losing is traumatic. Where is it written in the rule book that you're not ever supposed to face trauma? Trauma is your friend. Oh, no. I tell parents that. My child was traumatized. I said, yeah. How is he? Oh, it looks like he'll be all right. I'll tell you what, he is going to be all right. Where's it written you're not supposed to be traumatized? I had a young lady went out and went the wrong way with the American flag on the color guard at the drill competition. Went the wrong way. She went this way, and the rest of the people went this way. And she turned around, came back, she didn't know what to do, and she started crying, just bawling. You know how kids do? Just bawling. And I didn't move. I let her go on. And she got back in line there, and she finished it up. We didn't even place in that competition. But I came back and I told her, I said, now you lost it there for a minute, but you dried up, didn't you? And you came back and you finished it out correctly, didn't you? Yes, sir. I said, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't lose your bearing. You don't lose your bearing. Her mother was ready to crucify me. How could you let that child? Why didn't you stop it right there? You can't jump in there and live their life for them. You got to let them deal with it. My coach, the reason we lost that game is I missed the key tackle, and he had it on film. And he made us come back to Savoie, New Mexico, and made us watch films of ourselves losing. And when he got to that portion of the film, he stopped it and rewound it. Over and over and over again. And in that dark room, that old 16mm projector running. He said, "Who is that?" My number 85 right there. He knew who I was. It was me. It was me, Coach. What happened, Savoie? I missed the tackle. No, obviously, you missed the tackle. We wouldn't be talking right now, son. See, I was waiting for him to tell me it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. See, I was waiting for him to tell me. He never told me that. I was waiting for him to say, it's okay, you gave it your best shot, but he never told me that. He told me, get on the bus, shut up, don't talk to anybody, you don't deserve to talk to humans. Who is that? That's me, Coach. What happened? I missed the tackle. Obviously, we wouldn't be talking. Why did you miss the tackle? I hesitated, Coach. Turned the light on and ran into me. I figured out which one was the glass eye. Because he focusing on me, you see. Screaming at me and spitting on me. He said, "You ever going to hesitate again?" "No, Coach, I promise." I had the best year. I played all-state ball. I come out of the tunnel hitting people. There's no doubt in my mind I'm supposed to hit you, I hit you. And I hit you hard, I hit you often. Right? And I got to where I could tell when the offense is going to move the ball, because after about 5 times hitting the guy across from me, he started grunting right before the ball moved. I knew it was fixing to move because he'd go, down, set, hut. When you know what to do, you do it. We need to teach our people to know what to do with losing. Our children are being devastated with losing because they haven't been taught. They haven't been allowed to lose. And they're coming into the United States Air Force. You bet some of them are already. They got blue hair and this thing sticking through the nose when they fall out of the and pants hanging down around. They're smiling, coming at you, going, you know. I spent 25 years preparing to go to war with the Soviet Union. I feel like that uniquely qualifies me to work in a public high school. Everything's a crisis to these kids. Commanders, I've learned something. I'm in a position now that these children hang on every word I say, good and bad. They follow my example, good and bad. Commanders, you've got to communicate constantly to your people the core values, and you've got to be those core values. That's who you have to be. You have to be enthusiastic in word, thought, and deed. The word enthusiasm comes from the words in theos, in God. Who in the world should be more enthusiastic than we are? We need to be enthusiastic. We need to be fired up. People are easily led and easily discouraged. They will pick up your spirit, Commander. They will pick up your spirit. If you are negative, if you are cynical, your people are going to pick that up. But if you are aggressively enthusiastic, they're going to pick that up. Oh, they're going to laugh at you. You know, in the morning, this morning, every morning I get up, I take a shower, and I exercise like a maniac. Right now I swim a mile every other day, and then I swim for speed 20 lengths on the alternate days. And I work out hard, and I stay in good a shape as I can stay in. And I'm proud of that. I am proud of that. I'm proud of my spiritual and my mental and my physical shape. And I don't mind. You know what I'm talking about? I don't mind entering a room. You know what I'm talking about? I see people in a room, you know. How you doing, man? When I enter a room, watch. When I enter a room, I enter a room. Nobody has any doubt about my confidence and my enthusiasm when I enter a room. And I influence children. And I influence adults. And I stay in shape spiritually, mentally, and physically. I'm on top of my game. And I'm going to be that way the rest of my life. I speak it into existence. That's who I am. When I get up in the morning, I take a shower. I got studio lights. Full-length mirror. I get out of the shower, don't even dry off. Let that water glisten on my shoulders. Right? Turn them lights on, just... Wow, you know, and I'll be checking it out, you know. I'll be saying, yeah, you something. I say, how'd I look, baby? She says, come on over here. I thought, I see you later. I gotta go to the hospital. When I get out of the car, literally this happens every morning. And it's not me, people. It's not me. See, I happen to believe there's a God and He lives in me. Y'all excuse me for saying that. If I've offended you, I'm sorry, but that's what I believe. He lives in me. Oh, it's got to shine. And when I get out of my 66 Mustang in the morning, and I step up, those children literally line up at the door to see me come. And they be talking, when I get out of the car, they'll, and they say, good morning, Chief, and that's all it takes. Good morning. How are you? Blessed and highly favored, baby. Yeah. They say that Chief's crazy, you know. And you know what, though? They talk like me, they walk like me, and they think like me. I'm going to tell you, if you think you're not influencing people, you're not paying attention. If you're an NCO or an officer, be somebody's NCO and officer. Be bigger than life to them. Be somebody. If you've never done that before, rise to the challenge, because you're an NCO and an officer in the world's greatest Air Force. Act like it. Stop walking. Beautiful day, huh? For what? Good morning. Good for what? I'm going to slap somebody. That's ridiculous. We need to make sure that we're fired up. Your spirit is going to be translated to your people. Your people are going to pick up your spirit. My son's got my spirit. Some of y'all met my son last time we were here. He has my spirit. You know, people talk to my son on the phone, they think they're talking to me. And he's black. He's black. They say, I thought you was white. And then people talk to me and they think, for the first time, they think I sound like my son. They say, well, we thought you was black. It ain't got nothing to do with it, does it? I'm a spirit. I am a spirit. My son is a spirit. My son, I have instilled my spirit in my son. All of my life, I'm going to finish with this. All of my life, I've arm wrestled with my children. Some of y'all have heard this. I've arm wrestled with my children. I never let my kids beat me, even when they was 4 years old. Come on, arm wrestle, Daddy. Okay, bam, I beat you. You know why I beat you? I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, and the only way you're going to beat me is get bigger and stronger. I never lied to my children. We need to quit lying to our kids. Oh, look, you're beating your daddy. You're such a strong little guy. You filling his head full of... My son never beat me. And then he went into the Marine Corps. Now, he's re-enlisted in the Navy now, but when he went in the Marine Corps, the Marine has a mandatory grow-up program. You know what I'm talking about? All of us do. The Marines got a special deal, you know. They got some kind of special crank or something they put on them. Yes, sir. You know, and they do that the rest of their life. I talked to a Marine the other day that fought in Iwo, and he still stood like a Marine. You know what? I don't have this competitive thing. Those are my Marines. You know what? Those are my Marines. Why? I'm an American citizen. Those are my Marines. I'm dang proud of them. You are my airmen. I'm dang proud of them. Them soldiers, 4th Infantry Division. Did you see that young man talking on the TV when his mama and his wife got on there? He said, it's from my family. Folks, pay attention to what he said. It's from my family. I'm so proud of him. When they got on there and talked to him, he's almost fixing to cry, but he's just grinning just as big as he could. His wife was talking to him. His mother was talking to him. He said, I'm just glad to be here, Mama. He's the one that pulled Saddam Hussein out, and Saddam Hussein said, I'm the president of Iraq, and I'm ready to negotiate. Got a red dot right on the center of his forehead. Well, I'm ready to negotiate too, you know. And then they come out of the Marine Corps, and they were asking him, said, where was the commander? That young man, you know, somebody should he could have killed Saddam Hussein. He said, yeah. Nobody told him to kill him or not to kill him. These are our children. They went to the same high school as you did. We taught these guys. They know what they're doing, and we trust them. Yes! Yes, yes, we trust them. And my son came home from the Marine Corps, came in the door, didn't say hello to his mama, didn't kiss his sister, walked right by him, came to the dinner, the breakfast bar, and put his arm on me. Come on, Daddy. Right? And I hooked in, you know. I'm looking at him right now. Now I'm fired up. He ain't gonna beat me. No, I got my bluff in on this boy when he's 8 years old. I'm keeping it. And we go at it. He jumped out. I beat you. You know why I beat you? I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. The only way you're gonna beat me is get bigger and stronger, Daddy. And he went over and he said, "Hi, Mom." Yeah. The whole time I'm thinking, yeah, that's the way I train you, boy. That's the way I train you. You stay away from him with your Prozac, your crap. They tried to give him Ritalin when he was a kid, and I almost thought, gonna give him Ritalin because he wouldn't pay attention in class. I fixed that. I went down and sat in the class and looked at him for the whole hour. He never did that again. They tried to call me Sergeant Ritalin. I'm gonna tell you something. You in the greatest Air Force in the world, with a righteous mission. You doing the right thing. Our Commander-in-Chief is with you. He believes in what you're doing. He loves you. Thank God we live in America. There are some people, some voices, some sacred names that are calling through the decades to you to win. Omaha Beach, Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Bataan, Salerno, Honolulu, Vietnam, Twin Towers in New York, Pentagon, grassy field in Pennsylvania. Win. 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 Northside Boys and Girls Club, San Angelo, Texas. Okay. I'll speak loud. Yeah. Northside Boys and Girls Club, San Angelo, Texas. General, he ordered me to do this now. And these children, as you probably know, boys clubs across the country, they're open when these kids get out of school. Some of them latchkey kids. And it gives them the place to learn the proper values, and it gives them a place where somebody's going to show them they love them. And we've got, this is in a predominantly African-American neighborhood, and we try to help these kids.
Now you know that the chief is going to make sure those dollars go to this worthy cause, and if the chief says it's worth it, you know it's worth it. So I appreciate it, whatever you put in there. I mean, it's the time of year to make a difference in others' lives. You have done that with Give a Child a Christmas, Christmas Angel, you name it. You have a big heart. But I want to thank the chief for coming. Oh, good Lord. You know, I don't know about you, but about once a week, you know, I could have the chief talk at a breakfast, a lunch, or a dinner. He is just awesome. He has a reputation. Look at this room, just chock full, and we had to turn some folks away. Chief, I want to thank you for coming. We thank you for what you're doing for the boys and girls there in your area, what you have done in the past for this great country of ours, helping keep us motivated, keep our thoughts in line. Man, I tell you what, I'm ready. You know, give me that bayonet. I'll go find Gaddafi or whoever. I'll find him in the cave. I don't need anybody else. Just give me that bayonet, and I'm in there. But I want to thank you very much for this. Thank you all for coming. And again, thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. Chief, again, well done, awesome. But what was